Welcome back to Thompson's Coins, where today we're taking a look at the 2025 mint and proof sets. That's right, they're finally here. For those that have been visiting in store regularly and asking me when are the year sets coming through, they're finally here. Today marks the release of the 2025 mint and proof sets. Now this year, the theme is the 50th anniversary of the honours system. And I must admit, when I first saw this in the just in text form, I didn't see any images, I was a little underwhelmed. I was hoping for something a little more exciting or a little more interesting. But I must confess, now having seen the images of the sets, I actually think they look really nice, and having a think about the theme, I actually think it's going to be a really popular set, and having a uniquely coloured 50-cent piece in there, I think will go a long way with collectors. So as previously mentioned, this is the 50th year of the honours system, which was introduced by Gough Whitlam in 1975. And if you have a read of the packaging, you'll be interested to learn that over 500,000 Australians have been recognised via the honours system. There are recipients of various awards. You have people like Kathy Freeman, Hugh Jackman. You also have various doctors and military personnel. There are all sorts of people that have been recognised for outstanding contributions to the country. And I think in that sense, a set like this to tie it all together and celebrate the 50th anniversary is actually quite nice. It's just unfortunate that it took so long for them to be released. Ordinarily, we would expect to see the year sets either towards the end of the previous year, that is to say towards the end of 2024, or really early in 2025. Understandably, there are people that give these as gifts for birthdays, all sorts of celebrations and occasions, so seeing them this late in the year is a little disappointing. And I think, well, I know for a fact a number of collectors have come into the store and they're wanting to pick these sets up because it's something they do every single year, but they haven't been able to because there's been significant delays. So hopefully that's something that's a bit of a one-off. I think it's going to be a bit of a tight squeeze now for the mint to get things organised in preparation for next year. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully this doesn't mean that we see a delayed production schedule for all of the year sets, but it's certainly been a bit of a pain point for a lot of collectors. I can appreciate that for sure. I don't actually have the sets here. They should be here in the next week or so. They're still on the way to me, but the mint set, I've quite liked that packaging. I think I've grown accustomed to it now, the rectangular packaging with the rigid insert. So they can be stored without too much concern about damaging or breaking. But once again, the proof set, I believe, will be coming in the sort of recycled packaging with the tissue paper inside it. And that style of set hasn't taken off with me. And I think I speak for a lot of collectors as well when I say that I don't want to open a $150 proof set and have tissue paper that gets immediately ripped, and it just doesn't feel like a nice unboxing experience. The mint set is quite nice. It feels quite solid in hand, but the proof set, I much prefer the old style boxes. I'll show you one now actually, so it's not just hypothetical. It's bad enough that I don't have the sets here for the video, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. And here is an example of the old style proof set box. I think this is really nice. It's got a solid feel to it, and it presents really nicely. And now we have the sort of recycled packaging, which again, I have nothing against the environment. I'm all for environmental sustainability. I use environmentally conscientious packaging and things like that here in the store. However, when it comes to the set, the outer packaging is not something that I would imagine should or would ever end up in landfill or be disposed of. These sets are intended to be held onto and collected and enjoyed. So for that reason, I would like to see more substantial packaging. Particularly, as I say, proof sets are coins struck to a really high standard, and they're intended to be enjoyed and presented. And as a result, I would just love to see some slightly nicer packaging. And I have hinted at that a few times. That's my first rant on the subject matter. Let me know in the comments if you agree, or if you think that, maybe I'm getting out of line a bit, and maybe you do really enjoy this style of packaging. And who knows, maybe it's something in years to come that I'll come to enjoy, and maybe I'll prefer it. I don't think so, but stranger things have happened. So these sets will consist of each of the circulating currency denominations. There is a 5 cent, a 10 cent, a 20 cent, the coloured 50-cent coin, which is sort of the headline of the set, as well as a $1 and $2 coin as well. All of them will bear the obverse portrait of King Charles III, which is standard for all circulating currency in Australia now. And there is also a silver proof set, which I think will be quite difficult to get your hands on. And also, interestingly, that set has the standard coat of arms design on the 50-cent piece. So it does not have the commemorative 50-cent coin in there, which I guess could go either way for some people. Maybe some people would prefer to see that unique 50-cent coin in that set, or, it may stand alone as a unique 50-cent piece if there's not as many of the standard coat of arms designs that get produced this year. Or if you're feeling really adventurous, there is also a gold proof set, which is, I think it's just over $26,000. If you're feeling adventurous and you'd like to acquire one of those, feel free to drop me an email at info@thompsonscoins.com and I'll be able to source one of those for you. But it's not the type of thing that I would ordinarily get just for display purposes in the shop, as I'm sure you can appreciate. Now, given that I didn't have any of these sets for display for this video, and I didn't acknowledge the coin when it came out. However, I was really excited about its release. I'm just adding a little addition here so you can actually see a physical coin. This is the Jimi Hendrix coin, which was released by the Perth Mint not so long ago. I think it was a week or two ago. And I just wanted to take a moment to highlight and appreciate this really, really impressive design. So you've got Jimi standing there with the iconic purple haze around him and his name there, Jimi Hendrix. I don't think it's a stretch to say he was the most influential guitarist of all time. I grew up, and in my adolescence, I spent a lot of time both in a band and surrounded by musicians, and I can't stress enough how many times I heard various guitarists just trying to emulate the sound and style of Jimi Hendrix. And for someone who only lived to the young age of 27, he had such a profound impact, not only on, general rock and roll culture, but the guitar as an instrument. He really did define his own sound and style, and it's something that you can hear even in comparatively modern music if you're not terribly familiar with his material. But a song, a good example would be Snow by Red Hot Chili Peppers. The guitarist John Frusciante was interviewed and basically illustrated just how that style of that particular song, which is an iconic song, was just him paying tribute to Jimi Hendrix and that style of guitar playing, which, a lot of guitarists have come to know and love. But even if you're not a music enthusiast, there are many, many instances that you could point to in modern music where there are still very clear links to his sound and style. And I think it's incredibly cool and very appropriate that he has been put onto his own commemorative coin. And as a musician, obviously, I have a bias towards these things, but it is always exciting to see people like this being, referenced and put out there into the collecting community. And I think it also serves as a nice item that music enthusiasts can get involved in the world of collecting. So it's entirely possible that a guitarist may receive a coin like this as a gift and not be a coin collector, but it could serve as a tipping point and introduce them to the greatest hobby in the world. So there you go, that's just a little tidbit on the end of this Royal Australian Mint release video, just highlighting the greatest guitarist of all time, which I thought was entirely appropriate, given, we were just talking about the honours system. If Jimi Hendrix was an Australian citizen, you can be absolutely assured that he would have been acknowledged by the honours system as well. So that's it for this video. If you enjoy collecting the greatest hobby in the world, you can come on down and visit us. We're at Shop 8 in the Boronia Mall, which is 50 Dorset Square in Boronia. We're open Tuesday to Thursday, 10 till 4, and Saturdays from 10 till 3. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos, or you can find us online at thompsonscoins.com.au. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon.